Welcome everyone to another edition of Diversified Gentlemen. Today we got a special guest, and definitely a diversified gentleman, our boy Jason Medina, the one and only.
What up?
Good, man. Our brother from another mother.
Yeah. Chilling.
Fake J, real J, what you going with?
Here we go. We ain't gonna get into that story, man. Come on. What's going on, y'all?
Not much, man. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being in Tampa.
Yo, I appreciate the love. Appreciate you letting me come out here, man. It's been fun out here, and cool city. Shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so the first question we like to start off with is, what makes you a diversified gentleman?
All right. Diversified gentleman to me is someone that kind of keeps an open mind to whatever's going on. Understand there's different views, different perspectives, and there's always something to learn. And don't put all your eggs in one basket, depending on certain types of scenarios that you're in, whether it's financial or if you're looking for a specific job or whatever the case is. Just kind of have kind of spread your wings a little bit, travel wise and all that stuff. There's a whole lot of levels to that, man. So I'm learning every day to be a little more diversified than the day before. So
have you always been that way? Always had that mindset?
I could say before my peers, yes. Growing up, I think I had that thought process. The thing was, I just didn't know how to execute. And over time I've learned what to do, getting up with people like y'all and certain others on just learning the game, whatever it is, on how to kind of diversify myself a little bit more. And I'm definitely appreciative of that, big time.
Yeah, you were kind of like your who you meet in your circles kind of diversify you just through interaction, conversation.
Yep.
Like I met you through Reese. Y'all went on a cruise, right?
Yep.
And then I met Reese through Russell, who's a New York dude.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. And y'all met Corey because coming out here. And it just keeps on going at your circles. And you keep diversifying your circle, and the more you learning from that. Now, one thing people say, we're all sitting here, black man, how's that diverse? But the biggest thing we got to realize that we're still diverse with our backgrounds, completely different.
Absolutely.
You're from Chicago, you got New York, you got Kentucky. We're all different backgrounds. So I think that helps us grow as men, just coming from different backgrounds.
Yep, just different foods, different accents, different, just everything's different. Yeah. Even though you can be a black man, it just depends on where you're at. You grow up differently, man.
Because different experiences. Because even our family makeups are different. You know what I mean? So that is it's different experiences. Yeah. Period.
Talk a little bit about your background. I know you got like some Haitian, some Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Cubano,
Cuban, Spanish.
Yeah. So I'm half Puerto Rican, half Haitian. So mom's from Haiti. Father's from Puerto Rico.
And half Cuban. So half Puerto Rican, half
Cuban.
Haitian.
Stop
and
with
half
the Cuban stuff.
I'm not Cuban. I'm Puerto Rican.
I'm Puerto Rican, man.
I'm Puerto Rican, B.
But yeah, man. They met in NY, Brooklyn. So that's where it came up. But a lot of times I get crap because I'm not all the way black. I'm not all the way Spanish. So I get it from both sides. I don't speak any language fluently other than English, which I regret very much. That's part of a diversified, you know what I mean?
Un poquito.
So, yeah, man. But, coming up, just trying to find my way, man. And it is what it is. They raised me as best they could. I'm very appreciative of that. And now it's my turn to kind of, spread the love, pass it on down to my, the next generation.
Yeah. So you growing up though, how was that growing up? I mean, we want to put it, you're biracial. Might as well just put it out there. A lot of people say biracial may be white and a minority. You know what I mean? But you being, minority based on American, culture. How was that growing up? Did it affect you at all?
Like I was saying, it's just like you for me, I still, even to this day, man, it's weird. Like I kind of trying to figure out where I fit in sometimes. You know, like you feel like I'm the light skinned dude. You know, a little light skin. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I know y'all, you know, you joking and stuff, but you know, then I'm on the Hispanic side. I don't speak Spanish all the way. Then it's like, you're not really, you know, da-da-da-da.
And you're definitely not white. White people like,
white people let me sideways.
You better go somewhere.
But it's cool, man. You know, I navigate and you know, it's just talking to people. Once they hear you and you talking to them and they realize, oh, this dude, you know, it's a cool dude, and oh, nothing's malicious coming out of him. He's a positive dude. He's just trying to, you know, make friends and just, you know, go along life happy. And then they be like, you a cool dude, man. Come on, hang out with us, and, you know, go from there.
And that's weird. That's how we are, though. Why is it always like that, though? We gotta, like, you know, is he
pick a side?
Yeah, you gotta pick a side. Like, why would you make that pick a side thing? Why is that even a thing?
Yeah. In high school, I had people coming up like, yo, you Latin King, bro? And it's like, what? What is that? Hold on a second. Like, oh man, just because I look I look a certain way, that don't mean I'm associated with, you know, certain people, man. But it's like, man, I don't know why, but I really wish, like, I pray sometimes, like, yo, we're all people, man. We all should be loving each other. We all should be taking each other in and elevating each other. And I see, you know, with you gentlemen, that's what you guys try to do, and that's why I love the energy around you guys, you know?
Yep.
I think it is, I think it's just human nature when it comes to just wanting to be a part of something, and when you are, then you, like, protect it. I think that's why people join fraternities, and, you know what I'm saying, the family's big, and even your team, right? You know, you're in a city, you rep your team hard, you know what I'm saying, because my boy is a Knicks and Yankees fan, diehard Knicks and Yankees fan.
You can't be perfect.
Whoa!
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa!
And, you know, Knicks
Time
and Yankees is...
Let me get this straight. Nets, Mets, and Jets. That's where we gonna go. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy with me, man.
Yeah, same thing. But I think it's like, you know what I'm saying, if something goes down, like, you got my back, and if something goes down, I got yours. And I think, you know, just having that that bond, either, you know, being in the same city, just like in the military, right? When it's like a joint event, you know, and you walk in, you see Army, Navy, Marines, and you see a group of Air Force, you're gonna go to
gravitate.
You know what I'm saying? If it's if you're in Air Force in an event and it's majority white, and you see a group of black people, you're gonna be like, how you guys doing? Because it's a natural thing.
In a group where you identify best.
Correct.
Right.
Because, you know, you feel that it's going to be a less steep curve with the connection versus, you know, it's kind of a gamble as to whoever accepts you. But if you're with your own people, your own kind, it's like, all right, I fit right in, and, you know, kind of know the secret handshake, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, we can skip all the other stuff.
We were just talking about that. You're out and about in an area that's not like a lot of black folks around. You know, the black dude, you give him that nod. It's automatic.
Yep.
You're like, hey, it's like a comment. I see you, you see me. We're in an environment that's not, you know, just us. You know what I mean? So you have that. But I will say this: it's also not it can be seen as not a good thing also, because that's comfort. If I see you looking like me, you like me, I'm gonna gravitate to you, and now I'm in a comfortable zone because I'm comfortable with being around you. But not gonna grow from being uncomfortable. It's good to be around people that aren't like you. Also, you learn from them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you gotta be able to do that forcibly.
That, you know, being in New York is so, you know, it's like a melting pot. Everybody, you know, there's all colors, races, you know, ethnicities out there. So I was pretty comfortable with that early on, as far as just kind of even and on top of that, I didn't fully identify with one side or another. So it was kind of a little bit easier for me, I would say, to just be like, hey man, I gotta be friends with somebody, so I gotta talk to somebody. So I
might as well talk to everybody. Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, I guess that would be a benefit of being
it's probably one
biracial.
advantage,
You know what I mean?
You don't have any problems adapting to different groups.
Right.
You've already done it.
And in the military, it was that times 1,000 for me. So, you know, seeing people that's not from New York, from all over the country, and even, you know, the United States territories that were joining, and like, oh, I'm straight from Puerto Rico. So I'm like, oh snap, all right, a real Puerto Rican. I'm just a New Yorican, you know, and half at that. So
You a Cuban Rican.
Cuba Rican.
Cuba Rican.
Yeah, wow. But being in the military, I've been in for a little over 17 years now, man. It's been a wild ride, nice experience, man. Just there's a lot of things I wouldn't trade for this, and I'm grateful again.
So earlier you said you kind of had a diverse mindset, but it was an execution that you lacked. So how did you hone in on your skills to basically sharpen your execution?
It was over time, experiences. So for instance, I had bought a home. I was trying to get on my grind. Bought a home at like, what was it, 22? I think it was 22, turning 23. And I had that mindset, I want to get a home, and I can get one here, and then when I move on, I could rent it out. And so I had no one to talk to about that. Back, where I'm at, we don't have homes. We didn't really have homes like that. I come from a large family. I probably have like 10 aunts, probably like 8, 9 aunts, and probably like 12 uncles. So a lot of us are in New York projects, in the inner cities for the most part. So we didn't own, we didn't own anything. I didn't know anything about it. But I did know, eventually I moved to a home where my parents bought, they were trying to, gradually did their thing. So when I moved out, I was like, all right, I want to try to put myself in the best position possible. Let's get this home. But I didn't have any direction. So when it was time to sell, all I really knew was, I guess, get a property manager from what I heard around, and I went from there.
But you didn't know like the questions to ask the property manager to make sure they were legit. Or,
correct.
If it's anything potentially you had to watch out for tenants, and maybe some quick fixes you can do to your property.
Right. All of that.
And you probably didn't even know you needed to know that.
Right.
Even from the jump.
Hard part.
From the jump, I just went and bought a house. Come to find out, that was not the right neighborhood to buy a house, man. That was the hood of where I was at. So it was like property value was not going to go up very much.
Rentability.
The renting, the people that was going to get in there, you don't know what you're getting, and that's what ended up happening. I moved on, and the people they put in, I guess they screened them, and they got in there and destroyed my home. And I was coming out of pocket for 8 months trying to keep up with rent, the mortgage payment outside of my own new house I bought mortgage payment, hoping I can get something, someone else in there, but I had to fix it up, and eventually I was just like, I can't maintain this anymore. And
so
lesson learned.
You had the right intentions, like you invested in the property with the intentions of living in it with your family, moving out and having renters come in and basically, build you more equity to the point where it's paid off and you can pass it down. So you had the right mindset. However, you wasn't around maybe like-minded people with the experience to kind of walk you through or even just bounce ideas off.
Right.
Okay.
The mentors weren't in place, and even the peers with that same mindset, like you were saying. Right. So that's where I was growing up over the years. I started to realize, okay, I got to do a little more research on my own. I put it on myself a little back in the day. It was not much interwebs and cell phones at your disposal like that. But that's why I'm very grateful for people like you guys. Y'all trying to spread the word, spread the message, talk, be open to give information, and as well as people like me that need to be open to receive that information. That's very important as well.
All right, that's a good point. Appreciate the accolades on that, because the biggest thing you said that I kind of gravitate to is the things you don't know. Right. That's the hardest gap to get over. How you know you need to know? You don't even know what's out there. It takes that experience and changing your circle. You get more information about different things, then you're gonna realize that wait, I got more questions to ask. There's never gonna be a point where you know everything. You're like, oh, I'm good. I can be the perfect investor or perfect person right now. Like, I got every information. Now, it's when you learn something, you realize that you need to ask more questions. But at that time, you didn't know what to ask. You know what I mean? You had this ambition, you didn't know. Question I want to ask about that though is, what would you say? How much was that? Did that cost you financially? That lesson.
Damn.
You gotta give a figure. So,
financially?
Yeah, financially.
Oh yeah. It set me back.
Yeah.
It set me back.
What I call that, whatever that amount was, it's how much that lesson cost you. You know what I mean? So I tell people all the time is that you can't look at it as that money's gone. You pay for a lesson. It's like a class.
That was a pricey lesson.
Right. Right. It hurts. We talk about that. You know how some things you misstep and it cost you some money. Instead of looking at it as I lost money, no, this cost that lesson cost that much.
Major lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
But it happened early on to where I can rebound and kind of work my way back up again. It's not like it was too late in the game. So that's that's cool, man.
So how were you able to, hit the switch? Because a lot of people would be like, I'm never going to buy, you know what I mean? When someone buys that first stock, they take a hit, and they're like, the stock's not for me. Why not? Because in 2002, I lost like 5,000 trying to do this, blah, blah, blah. And they don't even want to hear the word stocks, So how were you able to have that fortitude to jump back in and say, all right, it didn't work out this time, but I'm going to come in with even a better plan and do it right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just had the mindset. I mean, at the end of the day, people need a place to live. There's programs in place for people to come in and everybody needs to live, man. A roof over their head. So I just tried to stay positive. Again, it's that positive mindset, man. You're gonna fail. You just got. What do you do after you fail? Do you get back up and try to hit the ground running again? And that was the mentality. There was, obviously there was certain times where it was. It's like, damn, man, do I do it? What do I do? Is it worth it? Is it, whatever? But
you start second guessing it.
Yeah. So there was definitely self-doubt, and I had to be a little more careful, obviously, using the information I have to make a smarter decision on what happened, on what I do. But it works.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And I think instead of people saying, yeah, let me go back and do it again, because a lot of times it's, no, you're on the right track, you're making the right decisions, and just a little modification here or there will get you where you need to be, right? Like, you have the right intentions, but they just scrap the whole thing. Like, for instance, you could be going to a certain career, you know what I mean? And the first time you fail a test, you're like, I'm done. Yeah, it wasn't for me. Or, come back again. You know what I mean? Just so everyone used the Michael Jordan was cut from blah, 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 JV, which is silly. He was a freshman trying to be a junior. But, but things like that happen, and the great ones let it motivate you. You know what I mean? When you lose that championship, when you take a loss, I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett didn't make gains on every investment, but I'm pretty sure when he took that loss, he's like, what did I miss? You know what? I read 2 books on this company. I should have read 5 books, and from here on out, I won't let that happen again.
The hard part too is trying to figure out, though, you do fail at something, you got to figure out when, maybe this is not for me, though. You got to know when to pivot. That's the hard thing to do. I haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes I do things and keep failing and failing and failing. The key is trying to figure out failing somewhere else. You know what I mean? You have an idea for something, it's not working right. How do you know when to pivot? Y'all know that? Mm-hmm. That point, I don't know it yet.
I'm still. It's a learning process.
Yeah,
for
we're
me.
always taught to persevere. You fail, get back up and do it. Okay, but maybe
keep pushing,
yeah.
And then it's like, well, you're not going anywhere.
I think that comes down to your motivation. How motivated are you to do that task? Once that motivation comes down, I think that's when you pivot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's something that's if it's been something your lifelong dream that that you want to achieve, this goal, you stay on that track. But if it's something you're doing just to make money, or just something to do just to be doing it, maybe you should pivot off a little bit and go in another direction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Money can't be the only
what are your
factor.
motivators?
Yeah, right.
So I can still make the league.
You absolutely can.
NBA?
Practice.
Yeah.
Go about.
Appreciate
go
that,
about
man. Make the league, bro.
The CBA, Cuban Basketball Association.
You ain't gonna let that up, huh?
No, but I think also it comes, confidence plays a huge role. And I believe to have confidence, you have to have accomplishments and victories. And you start off with small victories. So, for instance, like working out, someone needs to lose 50 pounds, right? And instead of saying I need to lose 50 pounds, just say I need to lose 2 pounds a week. And each week you get those small victories, and that just builds confidence. So, 3 weeks in a row you hit those small goals. That fourth week, say you gain a pound or you only lose 1 pound, but you've done it before. I think sometimes people want to take on the whole pie, like I want to be a millionaire by 30. You know what I mean? And say they get to, they come up to like, 200K. That's a huge victory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they have $10,000 in debt. I want to pay off in 6 months, and they only pay down 6 of it. That's a huge victory, And I think if you look at it like that, those small victories, you slowly build up confidence. Just like the kids, when the kids do competition, you start off at different levels, get a couple of wins under your belt, builds your confidence. You take a loss, but hey, you're 3-1. You know what I mean? So I think that happens in life too.
It's important. I feel like it's pretty important, especially the smaller goals.
Yeah.
Even fitness wise, I go through it as well. It's with everything. The losses, I might, one day you see you up 20%. I'm like, oh yeah. Then I look at it the next day, I'm like down 30%.
Yeah.
Like what the? I'm like, but people, they'll bail. First sign of some turbulence, man, they're out of there, and it's like, man, we gotta learn to kind of push through a little bit. So
You're a BeachBody coach too, right? Yeah, I know that.
yeah, I'm a team BeachBody coach, so yeah,
What drove you to that?
Drove me to that. Military, you gotta stay in shape, man. Everybody got all these different things that they trying to do. Some people ain't doing nothing, so it's like, all right, well, what's going on? Had to do present me an opportunity, telling me something roughly about like P90X, and we looked into it. Insanity looked into it and was like, let's give it a shot, like before a PT test. So I did it for like 35 days. I lost like 3 inches on the waist, and like I think it was 25 pounds. It was in like 35 days. Killed my PT test. I was like, oh snap. All right, man, I'm in. This is cool. So I just stuck with it ever since. Not saying it's easy, because for every person that can't make it doing that, there's 10 people at the gym that can't make it. You know what I mean? But you keep trying to go to the gym, right? We keep trying to get back on track. We don't blame the gym for our fault for what we ain't do. So it's the same thing with that, man. But a lot of people got, there's a lot of excuses. You hear people going to the gym, people can't work out, but yeah, we're good. Like, it's me and my wife, we doing that. Last year hit about 6 figures in gross sales. Nice. So, we just trying to help people out, man. It won't be necessarily for like, what we're doing is not necessarily trying to help somebody that's already doing what they're doing, but trying to help the people that
they need help,
want the help, that are looking for something that can get them back going, and that's important, man. And we're trying to help. Like, I'm always trying to help out, man. And if we all can help each other in one way or another, this world will be in a much better spot.
Yeah, you're right about that, because some people may be too intimidated to go to the gym, or maybe too embarrassed to go to the gym or not confident enough to say, all right, I get to the gym, where do I start? Versus, joining a program like yours where it's very close knit and you have coaches that would say, can basically hold your hand through the process, and you guys can video Skype and have that one-on-one, like, intimate program versus going to a huge chain fitness center with people walking around swole and
right.
Yeah,
you get intimidated.
perfect bodies.
So many factors that play into it. Like Planet Fitness is opened for that specific reason, and they don't have like benches, right? They don't have these big heavy weights and stuff. They got machines, and it's for a reason. For the people that are not very used to going to the gym,
advanced.
They go there and they can feel comfortable doing stuff that they're not being looked at, which is that upsets me in itself.
Right.
Somebody trying to do what they trying to do what you're doing, get on your level, and you looking at them laughing, or you like, oh, look at this person. It's like, why do we do that? So basically what I have, although it's mobile, so you can take it to the gym. That's not an excuse that, but it's mainly at home. A lot of stuff you can do in the comfort of your own home, from beginner workouts all the way to advanced workouts, and you can see results. But you have to follow the program. You got to follow what they're doing, and you got to follow the meal plan, because again, there's a lot of people that do all the workouts and then they go right after and go to McDonald's. Shout out to McDonald's. I like the fries too. KB, shout out KB. But they go over there and eat, and then when they don't get the results, they talking about, oh, this stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, they blame it on the program.
They'll blame it on the system, the whole system. They got supplements to help you out and all that. But end of the day, man, reverting back, that helped me kind of continue to maintain a focus on a goal, which is to kind of stay in decent shape. I got my kids. I want to hang out with my kids. I want to play. We can move around. I can still, shoot some hoops once in a while. Bust all y'all asses, by the way. Three. But
you might be able to get me. I have no basketball talent.
There goes one. I'm 1 for 1.
The football field's a different story.
All right, we'll see. But there's just those goals in mind, wanting to hang out with the kids and be mobile. I don't want to be 60 years old, 70 years old, and then in a wheelchair, barely breathing, high blood pressure, rolling around. I live my life. I don't need that stuff. Nah, come on.
That's funny you say that, because my fitness goals changed as I got older. When I was younger, 18, 19, I wanted to be the biggest, strongest,
lift the gym.
Every day was chest day. You need to just try to get swole. Then it went to I wanted to look the best. I wanted to be the most aesthetic guy. And as I get older, I'm going towards, I want to be longevity. I want that health.
Functional
fitness.
Yeah.
And I want to know my blood pressure. I want to know my cholesterol. If I can lift a bench 300 pounds, I don't care anymore. I'm more about that functional fitness. I think where you are in your life depends on what you define fitness as. You know what I mean? Like, do I have a six-pack right now? Absolutely not. Do I feel good? I feel great. You know what I mean? Your fitness changes based on your goals. Like you said it right there, hanging out with your kids. I'm the same way. I'm not trying to be my grandkids, and I can't move around, and I can't hang out with them and run around the woods or be in the tree house. Now I want to be able to move when I'm in my 70s, like I'm moving right now in my 40s. You know what I mean? That takes that different level of fitness mindset to do that. And I say something right here I think is my theory. I think all fitness programs work. If you put the effort in 100% into them, okay, what it is, P90, Insanity, HIIT, CrossFit, and within reason, you don't want to break your back. But if you put the effort in, they all work. Depends on what you want to do. But what it is, people go from one, doesn't work quite right. So now I'm going to do this one, because it makes it easier. Oh, that doesn't work, I'm going to go over here and do this one. But if you just
jumping
focus,
around.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yep.
Just focus on something that you can focus on and then get the results you want. Not bouncing back and forth. Like, that's harder. This is my opinion, though.
That's a true story, because I've heard it all, and I've compiled all of that stuff, and I'm like, look, this is what's happening, and it's because of this. So, right. And, going back to like the functional fitness and things like that, like, so my first career career was a aircraft maintainer, and being there, first duty station, you know, fresh out of basic, you know, coming out, and I was like, you know, like I was telling you guys, I'm a happy dude. I'm a positive guy. I go in, and it's like, man, within a few months, man, I started to question myself. What am I doing here? Like, I seen some of the guys and the older guys, right, and they weren't happy. And I was looking at them like, why are they not happy? Some of them retired military, and then they ended up working there, and they got a pension coming in for breathing, and then they there for another 15 years working, making another however much. I'm like, why you seem so, you know, upset with life? So, you know, those things creep in my mind, and I start to have doubt, like what's going on here? Like, trying to survey the field, like what's the issue? So eventually I just realized, you know, doing that certain job, man, I was like, yeah, this is not it for me, because I don't want to end up like that. So I'm going to find something that's going to make me happy, and, you know, that longevity, live life. I mean, I already got enough gray hairs, you know what I'm saying, that salt and pepper, you know what I'm saying? I'm still nice with it, though. But, you know.
I can't do the New York dudes, man.
So weird, like,
but yeah, man, like, so I ended up changing jobs after my first few years in, man. Just, it was partially because of that reason. I want to enjoy life, and that's, you know, looking at my peers or the guys older, ahead of the game. I just kind of, you know, took things in stride and was like, all right, I gotta make a move here.
So why'd you choose air traffic? I mean, that's like a stressful job. It's not easy.
Yeah. So with that, I ended up having to choose, right? So I picked like finance, some med jobs. I don't know how y'all got in med. They didn't want to let me in that motherfucker.
You do finance?
I did finance, and I did medical. It's a very vigorous vetting process.
So you know, I had, you know, my list of jobs. I put some other stuff, whatever. And one of the reasons why I chose air traffic, right? I was on the flight line one day, and it was, I don't know what the weather was like, but it wasn't good, right? It was whatever, kind of cold. So I'm out there on the flight line, and I look around like, this is some bullshit, man. So I looked around, you know, and I seen the tower, right? It's just kind of there.
They look warm.
I'm like, what do those people do, man?
They did it with t-shirts and Tommy Bahama flower shirts. They was playing volleyball.
What are they doing in there, man? So when it was around that time, man, I ended up going over there. I was like, hey, look, I'm looking to cross train, and I'm wondering what you guys do or whatever. I was like, yeah, come on in. Went in there, and yeah, like, they were chilling, AC, feet up, just kind of talking to planes, man, talking to pilots, just as they flying through the sky. I'm like, yo, this is kind of cool. You know, I asked them about the training process. They said it was a little, you know, strenuous.
It's very vigorous.
It's vigorous, yes. But I was like, you know what? If you could do it, I could do it too. You know what I mean? So I just kind of kept that mindset. So I put it on there, and yeah, they ended up picking me up for that. They were critical at the time, looking for people. So I ended up hopping in there, and yeah, it's been a great decision for me. Both in the Air Force and out the Air Force. When I'm done, I have something that I could fall back on if I decided to continue doing that. Right. That's easy to get out and find a spot. So
you about what, 2.5 years out from retirement?
Yeah, I'm about 2.5 years out. So I would like to, you know, possibly be done and then go from there. I mean, I don't yearn to do air traffic, like, oh my gosh, this is the best, you know. Yeah, but you know, to have this, you know, as part of my background is great, man. It's a great thing to have in your belt.
Okay. So what's some things you want to leave with the people as far as, you know, anything from fitness to, you know, getting knocked down and coming back harder, you know? So what advice can you give? What nuggets can you give?
So I would say, open your mind, be receptive to when people brings certain knowledge to the table. Don't be closed-minded, especially around the older heads. Pick their brain, especially when there's people around that you're like, I wonder what they do to get to where they at, or what are you doing? Where are you trying? Where are you headed? Just kind of pick their brain a little bit, and it's just a simple conversation. Don't be so nervous about talking to people, because we're all human, and bouncing ideas off each other and trying to make each other better is what it should be about. I'm always open to kind of help people out and give them the knowledge, just so they know what's out there, because I did not know what was out there for a long time. Even while I was in the military for the first number of years, I really didn't know what was out there until I had meeting some people and getting out there. I found out what was out there to be provided. So it's a dope experience, man. I wish it was done younger, right. But the point is, it got done, and I met some pretty awesome people along the way.
That's it. It got done. It's never too late.
Yeah.
What I would say is, for some reason, discussing finances is taboo, but sometimes you got to ask those, questions as to, I'm looking to purchase this, at this amount. Does that make sense at this rate? And then someone dive in. All right, how much debt do you have? Because usually when it comes to personal finance, anytime someone comes to us, it depends. You know what I mean? Right. How much do you make? How much debt do you have? What are your goals in the next 6 months, 5 years, 20 years? But you have to be willing to divulge that, and not have that ego or be embarrassed, because no matter what, that person is going to be doing their thing, and you still have that debt. You still make what you make, and you still have your goals, and you're trying to get from point A to point B. So get out of that mode of, I'm not going to discuss my money. I'm not going to ask this person. I know this person is successful, and I look up to him from afar. I'll figure it out myself. So I would just say, I don't even think it's swallowing your pride. Most successful people are definitely willing to help. They want to help. Oh, yeah. They want to help. That's because, at a certain point, money doesn't make them happy. It's helping other people and help them achieve their goals.
Something I would leave is close that gap of ignorance by exposing yourself to more information, things you don't know. One thing I like to do is listen to podcasts. Like this one, of course.
Like and subscribe.
Put a podcast on. Here's a pro tip, too. I listen to podcasts on 2 times speeds. I can get more podcasts in during the day. Listen to them during your car rides, cutting the grass in the yard, whatever you're doing, got downtime. Throw a podcast on, put it on, increase the speed a little bit, and then you can get more in and learn a little more about something else. So increase your knowledge by closing that gap of ignorance by exposing yourself to more information. That's what I got. What you got, Corey?
I would say that the road to success is always hard. Take the lessons learned while you're going through those bumps and bruises to success. Take those lessons learned and learn from them, so you don't make those same mistakes again. And the road to success, you always have to be consistent. That's the common theme throughout these podcasts. Be consistent on your goals, and that'll lead you to success. Again, just learning from your mistakes and just keep going. Do not quit.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that concludes this episode. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you. All right, make sure you tune in next week. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, share. Let us know what we can do better.
Shout out to Leo.
Peace. Thanks for coming through. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content. Also, ensure that you like us on IG. And also, you can listen to the audio version on all streaming formats like Apple and Spotify.